one I do want to record, because that was really good.
What did I say?
Well, you were talking about the feel of the racket, the timing, get the importance of the left hand. It's filming.
Oh, that's the
being relaxed, the aftertaste of the ball contact, the importance of looking at the ball.
Let's go over here real quick. Alright. Okay, so the whole, to sum up what we've been working on today, which is a culmination of everything, because everything on a tennis court is cumulative. Everything you do on the court is cumulative, whether it's something you want to do or something you don't want to do. It's all a part of who you are. If it's a shot that you've executed on the court that you're not happy with, guess what? It's a part of your game now. Whether it shows itself remains to be seen, or whether it goes away and stays away in a place where you don't have to bring it back out when the crucial moment again, when when all the pressure's on, and then now you tense up your backhand or your forehand or whatever side of the ground strokes that you have a tendency to lock up, because usually a person will develop a comfort zone to one side or another, just because it affects and just because people are usually left-brained or right, and very few people are left and right brain. So swinging the racket is a left brain and a right brain thing based off of what side it is, and people get comfortable with those. So now, in order to override those type of lockups, I call them, or situations where it becomes overwhelming and then your swing goes out the window. In order to override those, all you have to do is keep a simple focus. And yeah, it sounds easy. Keep a simple focus. Develop a mantra on the tennis court, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, move my feet, swing my racket, watch the ball, move my feet, swing, or watch the ball, move my feet, swing my racket. Whatever those 3 words, 4 words gets you in a cycle, which means you're going over and over and repeating this process over and over, then the faster you'll get at developing timing for the ball. Too many times we let our reactions from a shot that we hit immediately affect our timing, which means we hit a shot we're not happy with, we don't get ready for the next ball immediately, we've realized it's coming back, and then we start getting ready. And that's a habit we just formulated. And it shows in your movement from one shot to the next, which is just as important as your movement to the ball. Most people focus on the direct movement to the ball or away from the ball, as opposed to the movement which you do when the ball's not even on your side of the court. When the ball's on the section, when after you've hit the ball and the ball crosses the net and is about to be struck, from that moment that it crosses the net to the moment that the person's about to hit, what are you doing? That's a very crucial juncture in your preparation to the next shot. And if you're not preparing for the ball to come back, or preparing the split step, or reposition, I don't want to say a set position, but repositioning, because 9 out of 10 times the ball is not going to come back to the same spot you just hit it from. And so repositioning is always a good thing. Now, once you get into that focus point of what you're doing from the time the ball crosses the net to the time the balls get hit, and what are you doing from the time the ball leaves your racket to the time the ball crosses the net, that's a juncture, a period of time that's very crucial as well, because most people, from the time the ball leaves their racket to the time the ball crosses the net, they've already beat the ball to the target. They're already looking to see where the ball's going to go before it even gets there. So majority of the players out there have just sacrificed and are sacrificing the most important aspect of the swing development and feel development that they could ever imagine. Like, there's nothing more important than that part of the swing, because after contact, when the racket is still vibrating, if you're paying attention to it and not focusing on where the ball is going, will you develop a feel for the ball every single time? That's where you develop the feel, is right after contact. It's not at contact. Okay, contact is just the importance behind contact point is for alignment. It keeps your body aligned to the contact and then finishing around that spot. Whereas the minute you look up, your body's gonna realign itself and you've just incompleted your swing. It's not a complete swing unless you've completed the swing, the follow through, revolving around that contact point that you just struck. So those are the main points that we worked on today as far as timing is concerned. And then now that's one half of the ball crossing the net. Now you got a 4-second gap usually. The ball 1001, 1002, I'd say 4-second to 5-second gap when the ball leaves your racket, then it's going to come back to you. So in the first two seconds, I just explain what you think about. Okay, the first 1 second is the ball leaving your racket going to the net. The next second is the ball crossing the net going to the opponent, hitting the ball. And then usually at moment of contact, depending on the athlete, there's a fraction of a second, there's a moment there where the ball stays on the racket and then changes direction. So it's not immediately just bouncing off of that and then going back with no time delay. So there's a split-second delay there. That's also a factor. What are you doing there? And then when the ball's coming from time the ball leaves your opponent's racket to the time the ball crosses the net, what are you doing in that position? And then the ball, from the time the ball crosses the net and then comes to your racket, what are you doing there? Those are the other two junctures of timing that are very crucial to timing, to rhythm, to being able to position yourself for the ball and staying focused on in the point. But without the focus being, without the focus being on a subject or in a direction that is helpful to the players hitting the ball, repositioning, realigning, aligning. If there's a thought process, if there's a thought, not even the thought process, if there's a thought that's getting in the way of all of these thoughts that allow you to hit that ball correctly. And I say correctly because there's a correctly and there's an incorrectly, meaning there's a best timed ball and a worst timed ball. And we all know that the worst timed ball is incorrect because it's the reason why we have so many injuries on the tennis court. Because people don't time the ball correctly, but they can still get away with hitting the ball. Although over time, is that incorrect timing causing issues in their elbow, their wrist, their forearm, whatever else. And we got strong, healthy individuals on the tennis court who are now becoming injured in a sport where there's no contact to them other than indirectly through the racket. And just that indirect vibration coming through that racket incorrectly causes injury throughout the body in different areas. It's amazing.